8,000 feet above sea level, hidden among the clouds of the Peruvian Andes, stands one of humanity's most extraordinary achievements. Machu Picchu. The year is 1530. While Europe debates whether the earth revolves around the sun and Asian empires build their monuments, here in South America stands a city that defies imagination. Stone temples that seem to grow from the mountain itself. Agricultural terraces carved into impossible slopes. A civilization that built an empire without wheels, without iron tools, without even a written language as we understand it. Welcome to Forgotten Days. Today, we're spending 24 hours in Machu Picchu during its golden age. But we must be clear about something important. In 1530, the Inca people didn't call this place Machu Picchu. That name, meaning Old Peak in Quechua, wouldn't be used until centuries later when American explorer Hiram Bingham arrived in 1911. The original name is lost to history. Some scholars believe it was called Patalacta. Others suggest Huayna Picchu, after the dramatic peak that looms above. We may never know for certain. What we do know is this. This citadel, built around 1450 under Emperor Pachacuti, serves as a royal estate. A sacred site, a place of astronomical observation, perhaps a retreat for Inca nobility. About 750 people live here permanently: priests, astronomers, farmers, craftsmen, servants. They speak Quechua, the language of the empire. They worship Inti, the sun god, alongside Pachamama, the earth mother. And they have absolutely no idea that their world is about to end. Just 2 years from now, in 1532, Spanish conquistador Francisco Pizarro will arrive in Peru. Within a single day at Cajamarca, he will capture Emperor Atahualpa. The Inca Empire, the largest empire in pre-Columbian America, will collapse with stunning speed. But today, in 1530, the empire is still mighty, and Machu Picchu is thriving. This is their story, the story of an ordinary day in an extraordinary place.
It's 5:15 a.m., June 21st, 1530, the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. The most sacred day of the Inca calendar. Inti Raymi, the festival of the sun, begins today. Our story follows Tupac, a 15-year-old son of a master stonemason, and his sister Cusi, age 12, daughter of a textile weaver. Tupac wakes in the Cancha, a rectangular compound where his extended family lives. The structure is made entirely of precisely cut stone, fitted together without mortar. So perfectly fitted that you cannot slide a knife blade between the blocks. This is Inca engineering at its finest. His sleeping area is simple: a woven mat, alpaca wool blankets, nothing more. The Inca value function over decoration in living spaces. But outside is breathtaking. Tupac steps into the cool mountain air. The temperature is near freezing, but the sun is beginning to rise over the eastern peaks. From his vantage point, he can see the entire citadel spread before him. To the north, the sacred Intihuatana stone, the hitching post of the sun, catches the first rays of dawn. To the south, agricultural terraces cascade down the mountainside in perfect geometric patterns. And everywhere, stone buildings fitted so precisely they've survived earthquakes that would topple modern structures. Machu Picchu is divided into distinct sectors. The Hanan, the upper, sacred district, houses temples and royal quarters. The Huron, the lower district, contains residential areas and workshops. Between them runs a massive staircase system connecting over 100 separate levels. The city clings to a ridge between two peaks: Machu Picchu Mountain to the south, Huayna Picchu to the north. Below, the Urubamba River winds through the valley like a silver serpent 2,000 feet down. Tupac's sister Cusi emerges, rubbing sleep from her eyes. Today is special. As children of skilled artisans, they'll participate in the solstice ceremony. But first, there's work to do. In Inca society, everyone works. Everyone contributes. Even on sacred days, the city must function. Cusi will help prepare chicha, fermented corn beer, for the celebration. Tupac will assist his father in final preparations at the Temple of the Sun. They eat a quick breakfast: kiwi chow porridge with dried llama meat and aji pepper. Simple, nutritious, fuel for the day ahead. The sun climbs higher. Machu Picchu wakes.
By 7 a.m., the city buzzes with purposeful activity. Tupac follows his father through narrow stone passageways toward the Henan district. They're heading to the Temple of the Sun, Machu Picchu's most sacred structure. This circular building, called the Torian, is an architectural marvel. Its curved wall follows the natural contour of a massive rock beneath it. And today, on the winter solstice, something magical will happen here. Tupac's father, Amaru, is one of the master masons who maintains the temple. Watch carefully, Amaru says in Quechua. He points to a trapezoidal window carved into the temple wall. At the exact moment of sunrise on the solstice, sunlight will pour through this window and illuminate the sacred stone below. This is Inca astronomy at work. They've calculated the sun's path with remarkable precision. No telescopes, no advanced mathematics as Europeans understand it. Just careful observation over generations, encoded in stone. Nearby, priests prepare offerings. Coca leaves, sacred to the Inca, are arranged in ceremonial patterns. Chicha fills ceramic vessels. A white llama, the purest offering, stands patiently. It will be sacrificed at noon. This isn't cruelty to the Inca. It's reciprocity. They believe the gods provide the sun, rain, and fertile earth. In return, humans must give back, must maintain cosmic balance. This concept, Aini or reciprocity, is fundamental to Inca philosophy. Meanwhile, Cusi works with the Mamacuna, the chosen women who live in the Aclawasi, the house of the chosen. These women are selected for their beauty and skill. They weave the finest textiles, prepare sacred foods, tend the temple. Some will become wives of nobility. Others will serve the gods their entire lives. Cusi is too young to be chosen, but her mother was a Mamacuna. She's learning the sacred art of textile weaving, creating cloth so fine it's reserved for royalty and gods. The Inca don't have written language, but they have quipu, knotted strings that record information, numbers, census data, tax records, even stories, some belief. A Quipikamaic, a quipu keeper, passes by. He's recording the offerings prepared for today's ceremony. Every potato, every piece of corn, every llama. The Inca Empire runs on precise record keeping. Even without writing, they've created the most efficient administrative system in the Americas. Machu Picchu may seem remote, but it's connected to Cusco, the capital, by the compact Nan, the Royal Road. A network of 25,000 miles of roads crossing mountains, deserts, and jungles. Messages travel via chasca, relay runners, who can cover 150 miles in a day. This citadel isn't isolated. It's part of an empire.
Noon approaches. The entire population of Machu Picchu, all 750 people, gathers in the main plaza. Priests in elaborate headdresses of condor feathers lead the procession. They wear golden sun masks that catch the brilliant mountain light. The high priest carries a golden tumi, a ceremonial knife with a semicircular blade. Behind him, attendants lead the white llama. It will brush to perfection. Tupac and Cusi stand with their families in the crowd. Everyone faces east, toward the rising Andes peaks, toward the sacred mountains they call Apis. The Inca believe these mountains are living beings. They provide water through their snowmelt. They control weather. They watch over the people. To live at Machu Picchu is to live among the gods. The high priest raises his arms. Silence falls. Then, he begins the ancient prayer to Inti, the sun god. Oh, Inti, Father's son, who gives life to all. You who warm the earth and make the crops grow. You who mark the seasons and guide our days. We give you honor. We give you thanks. We give you offerings. The crowd responds in unison. Inti, Inti, Inti. The sacrifice is swift, respectful. The llama feels no pang. Its blood is collected in a golden vessel, blood of the purest animal, given to the purest deity. The priest pours it onto the earth, an offering to Pachamama, the earth mother. Sky and earth, sun and soil, male and female, all must be in balance. Now comes the astronomical moment. The high priest leads a procession to the Intihuatana stone. This carved granite pillar, about 3 feet tall, is Machu Picchu's astronomical clock. Its name means the hitching post of the sun. The Inca believed that during the winter solstice, the sun travels farther from Earth. This stone, they thought, ritually tied the sun, preventing it from disappearing forever. At the exact moment of solar noon, The stone casts its shortest shadow of the year. The priest places his hands on the stone. He chants prayers that have been passed down for generations. The people watch in reverent silence. This is science and spirituality merged into one. For the Inca, there's no separation between the practical and the sacred. Astronomy guides agriculture. Religion organizes society. Architecture honors the gods while serving human needs. Everything is connected. Everything has purpose. And on this day, at this moment, standing in this impossible city on a mountain ridge, surrounded by peaks that touch the sky, the Inca people feel connected to the cosmos itself. They don't know that in just 2 years, this will all be threatened. That Spanish ships have already landed on the coast. That men with horses and steel weapons and diseases the Inca have no immunity to are coming. Today, they simply celebrate the sun and trust that it will return.
As the ceremony concludes, normal life resumes. And normal life at Machu Picchu is anything but ordinary. Let's talk about the engineering marvel that makes this city possible. Water is the key to everything here. Machu Picchu sits at 7,970 feet elevation, clinging to a mountain ridge. Yet somehow, the Inca have created a sophisticated water distribution system. A spring high on the mountain feeds a canal that runs through the entire city. 16 stone fountains cascade down the levels, each one perfectly engineered. The water flows constantly, never pooling, never stagnating. Each fountain is precisely positioned to provide water to specific sectors. The topmost fountains serve the sacred Henan district and royal quarters. Lower fountains serve residential areas. The lowest serve agricultural terraces. Even in the social structure of water distribution, hierarchy is maintained. Tupac's father takes him to inspect the agricultural terraces. These andins, stepped farming platforms, are engineering genius. They're not just carved into the mountainside. They're carefully constructed with multiple layers. At the bottom, large stones for drainage. Middle layer, smaller rocks and gravel. Top layer, fertile soil brought up from the valley below. This design prevents erosion, regulates temperature, and allows crops to thrive at impossible altitudes. What grows here? Potatoes, dozens of varieties the Inca have domesticated. Corn, sacred to the Inca, used for food and chicha. Quinoa, a protein-rich grain that grows at high altitude. Coca leaves, sacred plant used in religious ceremonies and to combat altitude sickness. Oca, aluco, and other Andean crops unknown to the rest of the world. The Inca are master agriculturalists. They've created over 3,000 varieties of potato alone. They've domesticated the llama and alpaca for wool, meat, and transport. But here's what's truly remarkable. The Inca have no iron tools. They work stone with stone tools, bronze chisels, and incredible patience. They have no wheeled vehicles. Everything, every stone, every piece of soil, every drop of water is carried by human labor or llama. They have no horses or oxen. Just human ingenuity, organization, and the Midday, the labor tax system where every able-bodied person contributes work to the empire. Yet they've built this. A city where 200-ton stones fit together perfectly. Where water flows uphill through carefully calculated channels. Where buildings have stood for 80 years and will stand for 500 more. As Tupac walks through the terraces, he sees workers tending crops. In Inca society, everyone has a role. There are no homeless, no unemployed. The state provides food in times of famine, stored in calca, warehouses positioned throughout the empire. In return, citizens work the land, build infrastructure, serve in the army. It's a system of reciprocal obligation. Not quite socialism, not quite feudalism, something uniquely Inca. And for these people, it works. As evening approaches, Cusi sits with her mother and other women in a weaving circle. This is where Inca culture truly lives. In the textiles, the Inca don't have written language, but they have textile language. Every pattern tells a story. Every color has meaning. Red from cochineal insects, blue from indigo plants, yellow from local flowers, purple from rare Andean snails, so rare that purple cloth is reserved for the Sapa Inca himself, the emperor. The takapu, geometric patterns woven into cloth, may encode information. Some scholars believe these patterns represent a writing system, though we can't read it today. Cusi's mother teaches her the sacred art. Start with the warped threads, she instructs, her fingers moving with practiced grace. They run vertical. They are strong, like the pillars of the earth. Then add the weft threads. They run horizontal. They are flexible, like the rivers that flow. Together, they create unity, balance. Ani, there's that word again, reciprocity. It governs everything in Inca life. The cloth Cusi is learning to weave is come by, the finest textile in the Inca world. Made from vicuña wool, softer than cashmere. Threads so fine that Spanish conquistadors will later mistake it for silk. This cloth takes months to weave. Some pieces take years. It's more valuable than gold to the Inca. When the emperor gives come-by cloth as a gift, it's the highest honor. Meanwhile, in another part of the citadel, Tupac's father works on stonework. The Inca are obsessed with stone. They believe stone is eternal, unchanging, reliable. Unlike wood, which rots. Unlike adobe, which crumbles. Stone endures. Master masons like Amaru spend their entire lives perfecting the craft. They have no written manuals, no blueprints, no engineering schools. Knowledge passes orally, through apprenticeship, through doing. Amaru shows Tupac a stone he's shaping for a repair. Feel the surface, he says. Perfectly smooth. No chisel marks. How? Tupac asks. Patience. We use bronze chisels to rough cut. Then we grind with river sand and stone. Hour after hour. Day after day. When two stones fit together perfectly, you cannot see the joint. You cannot feel the joint. They become one. This is why our buildings stand when the earth shakes. And it's true. Machu Picchu sits in an earthquake zone. Yet the buildings survive where modern structures would fail. The Inca use a technique called ashlar masonry, precisely cut stones that can move slightly during earthquakes, then settle back into place. It's seismic engineering developed through centuries of observation and experience. As darkness falls, families gather for the evening meal. Tonight's feast celebrates Inti Raymi, roasted kiwi, guinea pig, a delicacy. Potatoes prepared a dozen different ways. Corn on the cob, roasted over fire. Quinoa stew with dried llama meat and aji peppers. And chicha, served in ceremonial caro cups decorated with painted designs. They eat communally. They share. They celebrate. This is Inca life. Hard work, sacred ritual, community, balance.
Night falls over Machu Picchu. At this altitude, with no light pollution, the stars explode across the sky. The Milky Way, which the Inca call Mayu, the river, stretches overhead like a cosmic road, and the Inca have been studying it for centuries. Unlike Europeans who see constellations as connect-the-dot star patterns, the Incas see something different. They see the dark patches between the stars. These dark cloud constellations represent animals sacred to the Inca. There's Yacana, the llama, prominent in the southern sky. Hampe-Tyu, the toad. Mashakue, the serpent. Urkachili, the multicolored llama. These aren't just stories. They're an agricultural calendar written in the sky. When certain dark clouds appear, it's time to plant. When others rise, time to harvest. Tupac sits with his father on a terrace, looking up. Father, why did we build the city here? So high, so difficult to reach. Amaru considers the question. We built here because we are close to the Apis, the sacred mountains. Because the Urubamba River below is sacred, bending in the shape of the Milky Way itself. Because from here, we can see the cosmos clearly. Machu Picchu is not just a city, my son. It's an observatory, a temple, a connection between earth and sky. This is literally true. Machu Picchu's location is astronomically significant. The Intihuatana stone marks solstices and equinoxes. Windows in the Temple of the Sun align with celestial events. The entire city is oriented to sacred peaks and astronomical phenomena. Its architecture as cosmology. Stone is prayer. The Inca believe in three realms of existence. Hanan Pasha, the upper world, home of gods and celestial beings. Ke Pasha, this world, the physical realm where humans live. Uku Pasha, the lower world, realm of death and renewal. These aren't separate. They're connected. The mountain peaks reach into Hanan Pasha. Springs and caves descend into Uku Pasha. Machu Picchu exists at the intersection, a sacred space where all three realms touch. Cusi joins them. Wrapped in her alpaca wool cloak against the cold. Will Inti return tomorrow? She asks, still thinking about the solstice. Yes, Amaru reassures her. Because we performed the ceremonies correctly, because we maintained balance, because we honored the gods. He doesn't know how wrong and how right he is. The sun will return tomorrow, and the next day, and every day after. Not because of ceremony, but because of orbital mechanics the Inca don't understand but have observed perfectly. But something else won't return. This way of life, this civilization, this moment of peace. In 2 years, Francisco Pizarro will land in Peru with 168 men. He'll capture Emperor Atahualpa through treachery at Cajamarca. He'll demand a ransom of a room filled with gold and 2 rooms with silver. He'll execute Atahualpa anyway, and the Inca Empire will fracture. Machu Picchu will be abandoned. Some scholars think it happens quickly, residents fleeing disease or Spanish raiders. Others believe it's gradual, the royal estate losing its purpose after the empire's collapse. Either way, the city will be left to the jungle. Vines will cover the buildings. Trees will grow through terraces. For 400 years, it will be forgotten. Forgotten days indeed.
5:15 a.m., June 22nd, 1530, the day after the solstice. Tupac wakes to another dawn. The sun has returned, just as the priest promised. Life continues. This is the Inca worldview. Cyclical, not linear. Time doesn't march forward to some distant end. It circles. It repeats. Planting and harvest. Birth and death. Sun and moon. The solstice marked the sun's farthest journey. Now it returns, bringing longer days, warmer weather, growing crops. The cycle continues. But we, looking back from the 21st century, see this day differently. We know what's coming. We see Tupac going about his morning routine, fetching water, eating breakfast, preparing for another day of work, and we want to warn him. Treasure this. Your world is ending. But of course we can't. History moves forward, regardless of what we know or wish. Here's what will happen to Machu Picchu. The Spanish will never find it. They'll conquer Cusco in 1533. They'll loot its gold. They'll destroy its temples. But Machu Picchu, hidden in the mountains, will escape their attention. Some residents will flee to the jungle, joining the resistance. Others will drift away as the royal estates lose their function. By 1572, when the last Inca emperor is captured and executed, Machu Picchu is already abandoned. The jungle will reclaim it. Vines will cover the walls. Trees will grow through the plazas. Earthquakes will tumble some stones. Weather will wear others. But the city will stand. Those perfectly fitted stones, that seismic engineering, that obsessive Inca craftsmanship, it will all endure. In 1911, American historian Hiram Bingham, led by local guides, will discover Machu Picchu. His photographs will introduce the world to this lost city. Though, of course, it was never really lost. Local Quechua people knew it was there all along. Several families were actually living in the ruins when Bingham arrived. But to the outside world, to history books, to tourists, it will be a revelation. Today, Machu Picchu is the most visited tourist site in South America. Over 1 million people per year walk its stone pathways. They take photographs. They marvel at the engineering. They ask, how did they build this? The Inca would find this question strange. They built it the same way they did everything, with careful planning, with communal labor, with respect for the land and the gods. One stone at a time, one day at a time. Tupac and Cusi don't know they're living in a place that will captivate humanity for centuries. They just know it as home, the only home they've ever known. And today, it's simply another day, another sunrise, another round of chores, another evening with family. Simple, ordinary, precious, like all moments that, only in hindsight, we realize should have been treasured more.
Let's talk about what Machu Picchu means. Not just as a tourist destination, not just as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but as a testament to what humans can achieve. The Inca built this city 570 years ago, with stone tools, without iron, without wheels, without horses. They carved granite blocks weighing 50 tons and fitted them together with millimeter precision. They created agricultural terraces that still prevent erosion today. They engineered a water system that still functions after 5 centuries. But Machu Picchu represents something deeper than engineering prowess. It represents a worldview. The Incas saw themselves not as conquerors of nature, but as part of it. Their buildings don't dominate the landscape. They integrate with it. Sacred rocks are incorporated into temples. Water sources are honored. Mountain peaks are worshipped. This isn't primitive superstition. It's a sophisticated understanding that humans are one element in a larger ecosystem. That balance matters. That reciprocity matters. Ain't it? When the Spanish arrived, they saw the Inca as primitive. No written language, primitive. No will, primitive. Religious beliefs involving mountains and sun worship, primitive paganism. But the Spanish missed something crucial. The Inca had built the largest empire in the Americas. They created a sophisticated administrative system that fed millions. They developed freeze-drying technology for food preservation. They performed successful brain surgery, trepanation, with survival rates comparable to Civil War-era American medicine. They built rope suspension bridges spanning 150 feet across mountain gorges. Primitive? No. Different. Sophisticated in ways the Spanish couldn't recognize or appreciate. Today, Machu Picchu stands as a symbol of indigenous American achievement, a reminder that civilization takes many forms, develops along many paths, that the European model of progress, writing, wheels, steel, gunpowder, isn't the only measure of human accomplishment. When you visit Machu Picchu today, you walk the same stone pathways Tupac walked. You see the same mountain peaks that Cusco saw. You feel the same thin air at 8,000 feet elevation. The stones are weathered. Some buildings have partially collapsed. But the essence remains. The genius remains. Tupac and Cusco are gone. Their language, Quechua, survives, spoken by 8 million people today. Their crops, potatoes, quinoa, tomatoes, feed the world. Their textile techniques are still practiced by Andean weavers. Their architectural principles are studied by engineers. Their story is remembered by channels like Forgotten Days. The Inca Empire fell, but the Inca people didn't disappear. Their descendants live throughout Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador. They maintain traditions. They speak Quechua. They weave textiles. They farm terraces. The culture survived colonization, survived centuries of marginalization. And today, it experiences a renaissance. Quechua is taught in schools. Traditional practices are valued. Indigenous knowledge is respected. Machu Picchu isn't just a ruin. It's proof that humanity is endlessly creative. That given any environment, even a mountain ridge 8,000 feet up, humans will find a way, not just to survive, to thrive, to create beauty, to reach toward the divine. Thank you for spending a day in 1530 with us here on Forgotten Days. If this story moved you, if it changed how you think about pre-Columbian civilizations, please subscribe. Next episode, a day in Tenochtitlan, 1500, inside the Aztec capital that rivaled any city in Europe. Until then, remember, history isn't just European. History is human, and every forgotten civilization has stories worth remembering. This has been Forgotten Days.